Hey everyone, it's Marissa. So before we get into this video, I'm currently editing it right now, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who really just showed me a ton of support on the newest Halloween collection launch. And here's two different videos from some of the people that purchased from me, which was Irmita Santos and Makenna Dickens. I really appreciate you guys' feedback and just really showing me a lot of support on this, and I love just seeing you guys' reactions. I really do appreciate all of the support, so here are the clips, and just thank you so much.
Guys, I'm so freaking excited. I just got my Glossiful Beauty lip gloss, and this is what it looks like. This smells like vanilla, and it's the cutest thing ever. I have it on. It has like a little tint, like a little dark tint, and it's perfect for me. I love lip glosses, and her formula is bomb.com. If you've never tried it, go and get yourself one, guys. These are bomb. Get yourself one, guys. Also forgot to mention that every single purchase that you do, she does give you these little thank you cards, and I am obsessed with them. They're the cutest thing ever. Things like this is what makes me want to buy from people like her. I mean, her products are great, and she's such an amazing human being. I always like to support people like this, and plus all the money that she gets from selling the lip glosses, it goes to her college tuition, which I think is super cool. So yeah, guys, check it out.
Okay, I love the little charm. It's so cute. Wait, what? Hello, my dog is now joining. But this is even wrapped like candy? Like, come on. Oh my god, I'm so excited to smell all these. Oh my god, you know those little candies you used to get as a kid? Like those candy apple like candies? This is kind of bringing me back. Oh my god. I can't stop.
Hey guys, it's Marissa. So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Hocus Pocus collection. Now, I didn't get the whole collection, but I did get most of the products. I did get like the main palette, which is really super pretty. I'm really in love with this palette. At first, when I heard about it, I heard about it like 3 days before it launched, and it was honestly like kind of last minute. ColourPop didn't let a lot of people know. If it wasn't for Twitter, I wouldn't have even known about this palette, to be honest, and I don't think a lot of people did. It sold out, I guess, within like the first hour of ColourPop releasing it, and they were gonna launch it on October 3rd, but because of how many people were searching it the day before, the site crashed before they could even launch it. So they launched it the next day on October 4th or 5th. It crashed again like within the first hour, and a lot of people were just complaining because they added it to the carts and it was sold out before they can even buy it. So it was kind of like the conspiracy collection all over again, but with ColourPop. So that's kind of what happened, and I was able to buy this from Ulta Beauty, and I was just checking on their online store as well, and this sold out within the first couple hours of them launching it and releasing it too. And it wasn't even like, you couldn't even search for it online. You had to like go under new arrivals and then search for it by the price, which I think is kind of weird, but I think what Ulta was trying to do was preventing that from happening to them as well, to have the site crash, because obviously they don't want that to happen. So I think that's why they were just kind of trying to prevent people from crashing the site, which I totally understand, but I don't think that they should have hidden it that hard for people to find it, in my opinion. But I was still able to get my hands on it in store. I literally had to wait in line. Like, there was a line to the store, to the Ulta store that I was at, and it's not in all Ulta stores, it's only for select stores. So if you are gonna look for this palette, it is sold out online, but you can check to see if there is some available still in stores at some of the Ultas near you. And I will just be doing a review on the shades and stuff, and just the overall product and quality of each individual product. And I really did not have any complaints about any of it. I think it's really super pretty. The only thing is that there is a few shades that are not meant for your eyes that I saw in other reviews too, but some people were still using the things that were not meant for your eyes on your actual eyelids. And some of the eyeshadows in here are actually not meant for your eyes as well, which I think is pretty confusing, because why would it be in an eyeshadow palette if it's not supposed to be on your eyes? So the ones that are not supposed to be on your eyes have like little stars on it, and it is Brew Potion, Night of Frolic, and Dead Man's Toe. So that's this one right here, which is like a pressed chunky glitter color. And I was surprised because these two down here are the ones that you can't use. So these two are the ones that you can't use as well, which is really weird, because these are like the two matte colors of the palette that are like the big, like, you know, just bring it a little bit more color. And that's what I'm using on my eyelid as well. And I just saw a lot of other reviews too using these shades, and I don't think a lot of people know that you're actually not supposed to be using this on your eyes, which I just think is a little bit weird. But it literally has the star asterisk right here that says not intended for use in the eye area. So maybe someone kind of explain down below what they mean by that. Like maybe you can use it in your eye area, but maybe it's just not like your inner corner or something. I don't know, I think that is a little bit weird. But besides that, I honestly did not have any complaints. I really do like how the packaging looks like a little book, like a little witch's book, and how they just added the eye from the movie and everything like that. Like they did incorporate a lot of little things from the movie in the shade names as well. And I really do like the illustration on here too. I just think that's really cute. And then for the glitters, they're really pretty as well. There's a purple and a gold shade, and I tried the gold shade as a highlight. The purple one I think would be a little bit more better if you're wearing this for like a Halloween makeup look, just because it is a lot more dramatic. Now I have seen a few people try to put this on their eyelids as well, so if you do that, I would just recommend to just kind of take a little bit of precaution, and if you feel any kind of irritation, just to take it off immediately, because these are technically not meant to use for your eyes as well, because it is body glitter. And if you are to smell it, like it does smell a little bit like glue, so I think that is why. And I was able to get an eyeliner gel as well. Now this is super pretty. I really like the purple metallic-y color. It's only $8, which is pretty affordable, and it's very easy to just control, and I really just love how it's like a mechanical pencil as well, and it's just very sharp and precise. So this is really super pretty as well, and I just added it to my waterline, and I'm not really good at adding things to my waterline. This made it so effortless and easy, so I really liked this as well. And I honestly, like how I said, I didn't have any complaints with the products, but if you just want to see how I did this look, then just keep on watching. So we're first going to be priming the eyes, and I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fairest, and I'm just going to be using this as the eyeshadow base, just so that way the eyeshadow can just stick onto it a lot more easier and just stays on a little bit longer throughout the day. So this palette is really super pretty. I'm going to be doing the separate swatches of each individual color in the next clip. So here are all the products that I was able to get from the collection, and the palette itself is literally so gorgeous. Like I really love all of the different sparkles in them. It just really helps the palette to stand out even more, along with the pressed glitters and the gel eyeliner as well. So I'm just going to be swatching everything horizontally by rows, and the first one I'm swatching is Full Moon. Now this is actually really pretty. A lot of these actually include like sparkles in them, including the Full Moon, so it's like a really nice skin tone color that matches me, and it has like these really pretty white sparkles in them, which I really do like that added touch of sparkle. And then the next one that I'm swatching is Hello Salem. And then the next one is Brew Potion, and that's one of the shades that technically is not used for the immediate eye area, not so much just eye area. It says immediate eye area, and honestly, I don't really know the difference. So if any of you guys know down below, let me know, because I would really like to know what that means, because I think it just means like the inner corner of your eye, but I'm not too sure. The next two is On Toast and Coven. The next row is Come Little Children, Tis Firm, Thackery, Binx, Yabbos, and I Call It a Bus. And all of these shades were very easy to swatch. The matte ones were a little bit harder. They're kind of on the powdery side. This palette actually does have a lot of fallout to it, so I'm not sure if that would kind of bother you guys, but it does have a lot of fallout and it is pretty powdery. But whenever I tried to do the smudge test, you can definitely see where the eyeshadows are, and they stay pretty much in place and will not come off unless you had any kind of makeup remover wipe and not just water or anything like that, which is good, so that means it would last a long time. And the body glitters were the same way as well, and the gel liner obviously does smudge, but it does seem to be pretty waterproof. I actually almost had a hard time getting it off even with a little bit of makeup remover wipes, so that definitely is worth the money for only $8, and I'm honestly pretty happy with the quality of all of the products. And now that you've just seen all of the different swatches, I'm going to be going in with the palette now, and I think the first shade that I'm going to be taking is Dead Man's Toe, and it's just this really pretty purple color down here, and I kind of want to do like a purple and green color scheme, mainly purple, but I'm going to be taking that first and then blending it out using a different color, like a transition color. But for now, I'm going to be taking this color right here and using just like a round fluffy brush from Ulta or wherever you want to use. Anything will work. I'm just going to be dipping into this, and this is all very pigmented. I'm going to be adding it to the crease of my eye, and I'm going to buff and blend it out just a little bit, but not too much. Like this was just with 2 little taps, and already you can see so much pigment, and I'm really super happy with how that looks. I'm just going to be repeating that on the other eye. So now as like a transition shade, I'm going to be lightly transitioning it using the shade Hello Salem, and this is a very pretty like light neutral, kind of like a light nude color, and it is matte, and I'm just going to be adding that too as well and just kind of placing it for now, but then blending the 2 colors together that I placed. And then I probably will go back a little bit with the Old Man's Toe shade and just kind of adding more pigment to it and just kind of deepening that color. Then I'm going to go back in with that purple shade like how I said, and I'm going to kind of just flick it upwards and just really blend and buff it out even more. And so it just kind of lifts up your eye a little bit more as well and just gives it a more dramatic look. So I'm really liking how this is looking so far. I think it's really super pretty. So then the next shade that I'm going to be using, I kind of want to deepen it a little bit more, especially in my crease area. So I'm going to be taking the shade Night of Frolic, and it's kind of like a really pretty burgundy deep red color. So I'm just going to be taking that color and also the Dead Man's Toe shade again, because I want to keep it more of like a purple eye look at the top, and just kind of mix those 2 together and just really deepen my crease. And there is quite a bit of fallout, as you can see a little bit. Ignore my nails, I know they're kind of bad looking right now, but there is a little bit of fallout, so that's why I do like to just take that precaution to just do my eye look first, because you never know that if some palettes are going to cause fallout or not, and this one does have a little bit. It doesn't bother me personally because I do like just starting out with my eyes anyways, but for some people they might have to just kind of, you know, take some precaution and maybe use some translucent powder underneath their eye if they like to do their foundation first. I'm going to be probably using like just a glitter base first, just to make it a little bit easier to place on my eyelid as like a cut crease. So now I'm going to be using that NYX glitter primer and just an e.l.f. concealer brush, and I'm just going to be using this first before applying like the cut crease color. And I'm going to be using a little bit on the brush and just going on my eyelid, and I'll do this one at a time. I gotta set this side first with the shade before it creases or anything, but I'm just going to really take my time with this part and make like the edges as smooth and clean as possible. And I'm going to just do like a half cut crease, and I'm just going to deepen the outer corners of my eye as well. And I am going to take my finger and taking that Yabbos shade, I'm just going to place that on my eye, and it is like this really pretty, really dark gold greenish shade. It's kind of like a hazel color. It kind of matches my eyes a little bit in the sunlight, so I think this is really pretty. And I'm also going to be taking an e.l.f. precision brush and helping to place that as well. I'm going to be taking that purple shade again and just kind of filling in any spots that I didn't have that color. And I do want to use a little bit of that purple shimmery color as well, which is called Thackery Binx. And I'm just going to be using that as a transition shade as well, just in between the 2. And I'm just using that with my finger just because those kind of pressed shimmery metallic colors usually work best with just your finger. And that's how it looks so far. And I'm just going to be repeating the same steps from this eye to the other eye. Okay, so now that I just repeated those same steps to this eye, I think I want to add that really pretty sparkly black shade. And it is going to get a little bit messy because I kind of want it to be a little bit more smoked out and stuff, and then I'm just going to clean up any of that fallout anyways underneath my eye, and that's usually the way I do it anyways. This black shade is so pretty. It actually keeps that glittery like shimmer sparkle stuff in it, and so even on the brush, I don't know if you can see it on camera. You can't really see it on camera, so I do apologize for that, but if you pick it up with your finger or the brush, you can just see all the different sparkles and stuff. Like, it's a really pretty color. And I'm just gonna create this as like a smoked out wing effect, and you can already see like a ton of fallout right here, which, like how I said, it doesn't really bother me specifically because I like to start out with my eyes first, but just as a precaution for some of you who do use like foundation and those steps first. And I am gonna just buff this out a little bit as well, just to blend it in better. And I am gonna take a little bit of liquid eyeliner as well, and this is just the e.l.f. liquid eyeliner in the shade Jet Black, and just creating like a little bit of a small wing with it. It's just gonna help it pop out a little bit better. I know you can't really see it right now until I like get close up with the camera just because of the fallout, but like how I said, I'm going to be cleaning that up afterwards. And now using a Clinique makeup remover wipe, I'm just going to carefully just clean up all that fallout and just help sharpen that wing as well, and just make it as clean and precise as possible. And I just feel like this helps so much, like you can already see a huge difference. So now I'm just gonna pop on some lashes really quick and I'll be right back. Now I just applied the lashes and my face looks a little bit red right now just because I had some dry skin, so I did just exfoliate that off right now before I get in with like the skincare stuff. But before we even move on to that, these are like Kiss lashes that I've never put on before, so they're brand new. I did know that they had like their own Hocus Pocus themed stuff for lashes, but the thing is I don't really wear lashes that often, and that stuff is more of like collector's edition, so if I did buy it I would never want to use them. I'd want to keep them in the box. And I don't know, I just rather would buy something that I would use, so I didn't buy those ones. I just used just a normal pair of lashes, and I think they would just work just as well. But before we begin with the foundation stuff, I am going to go in on top of the eyeliner and just kind of clean it up a little bit more if there's any jagged edges from like the eyeliner glue or the eyelash glue. And I'm going to be using that e.l.f. liquid eyeliner again, and I did use black eyeliner glue. I've never used it before. It was Kiss brand as well, and it actually worked really super good, and I'm actually super happy with how that turned out, and the lashes are really pretty as well. So I'm just going to go over with the eyeliner one more time and also with some mascara. And the mascara that I'm going to be using is the Ulta Beauty Maximum Lashes Mascara in the shade Jet Black, and I'm just going to be applying that to my top lashes only right now until after I finish off with the rest of the makeup look. And because of this new weather and everything, my skin has been very dry and I have eczema, so like it's been kind of starting to get a little bit aggravated. So I'm going to be using this little birthday gift that I got last month by Ulta Beauty, and it's the Lancome Paris. It's the UV Expert Aqua Gel Defense 50, so there is a little bit of SPF 50 in it. Like, it feels velvety and just very smooth and hydrating. So I'm going to be using this as kind of like my lotion slash primer before applying just concealer. I don't really apply too much to my face when it comes to foundation. I usually just don't wear any at all. So I'm just going to be blending this into my skin before starting off with the next step. And this smells so good too. Like, I can't really explain the smell, but it just smells really clean and just really good. So I'm going to be going in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair Neutral or 12N, and I'm just going to be applying this to my under eyes or any redness or dark spots on my face, and then I'm just going to be blending it in using a Real Techniques Beauty Complexion Sponge. And for a little bit more coverage, I am going to be using that LA Girl Pro Concealer again, just like under my eyes and a little bit on my forehead and my chin and the bridge of my nose, just to kind of brighten up those highlight areas a little bit more. Now with my dry skin, I found the best way to not create like a patchiness look, because you know, if your skin's really dry, after applying setting spray, it kind of lifts up whatever you put on your skin and it just creates like this flaky looking effect to it, if you know what I'm talking about. So the best way that I have figured out to avoid that is by doing like blush and bronzer first and then setting it with setting spray and then like a setting powder. I know that sounds really weird, but I've been doing it a couple of times and it actually does work a lot more better and my skin looks less dry and flaky. So maybe that's just something that works for me, but maybe you can try it as well if you're having that same problem too. And just to try out the colors as much as possible, I'm going to be taking that Hello Salem shade and just using that as a bronzer. And I like to use this technique, and I always explain this in all my videos because honestly I don't see anyone else doing this besides me. I like to just set everything on my face that's powders and I kind of just apply it heavily. I don't really do it nicely, like I don't really take my time with it. I just kind of like apply it really fast, and then afterwards, after applying my bronzer and blush, that's when I set my face with setting spray, and then it kind of creates like this wet consistency where I can just blend it in wherever I want on my skin, into my skin with the beauty blending sponge, and I just think that works a lot better for me. But like how I said, if you have like a different technique that helps you a little bit better, you can definitely do that instead. And for blush, I'm going to be using the Tarte blush in the shade Peaceful. Then I'm going to be using the Tarte setting spray, which is the Stay Spray. And this isn't my favorite, but it's honestly the closest that I have lying around with me right now, so I'm just going to be using this. And I do not like the smell of it. It smells like baby wipes for some reason. I don't know why, but the smell is really strange. And I did review like the whole mini gift set that I received for my birthday as well on a different video, and it's just like my birthday video to get ready with me. So if you're interested in that, I will also link that down below, or you can just search it on my channel. And I also got like a free palette during that whole haul, so that was pretty cool as well that I was able to do that through Ulta. And it is starting to crease a little bit under my eyes, so now I'm going to be setting everything using the Airspun Loose Face Powder in the shade Naturally Neutral. And I'm just going to be baking my face with this as well. And then to fill in my brows, I'm going to be using a little bit of Come Little Children and also Goodbye Cruel World. And I'm just going to be lightly filling in my brows with that. So I think those two shades combined really looked good with my natural brow color. I think that turned out really super pretty. And like how I said, I did want to add a little bit more green colors to like my lower lash line. So I'm going to be using an e.l.f. Precision brush and taking the shade Bewitched. I'm going to be applying that. And it's like this really pretty dark navy green color. I'm going to brush off all of that excess powder that I have, just because I think I've had it on my face long enough. And then for my inner corner and brow bone highlight, I'm going to be taking a little bit of Wench and Full Moon. And using an e.l.f. concealer brush, I'm going to be placing those colors there. And it's very subtle, it's not overwhelming, it's not like a super bright pop in your face kind of thing when I'm placing these two together, but it's just enough where I don't really want anything any more dramatic just because of the overall makeup look. It's pretty grungy itself. And now using a Morphe M330 brush, I'm going to be taking that shade Wench again and just applying it as a light highlight. And it is really pretty. It's not super overwhelming like how I said, but just enough. And the shade is a little bit powdery, but it's not too bad. Now I do want to use one of those little body glitters, and I don't really know what I'd use the purple one for. I know a lot of people were thinking that too, but I might be like a butterfly for Halloween, and I think that body glitter would be really cool, so maybe I'll do a makeup tutorial on that if I do actually do that for Halloween. But I think I am going to be taking that gold body glitter and just kind of applying it on top of the highlight. And this is in the shade Another Glorious Morning, and it does have the cat on it as well from the movie, and it's just really super cute. And the main reason why I did want to get these little pressed body glitters is because it reminds me of my cat, because she's just a black Halloween cat as well, and I just think it's really super cute. And I do have body glitter from a previous ColourPop collection. It's from the Frozen collection, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know why these body glitters smell a little bit more like glue, and I'm not too sure why. They work the same, but that's what I noticed. I'm just going to be tapping it with my finger, by the way, and just placing it lightly. And that's, oh, that's really pretty, because like you don't need a lot. It's a very like wet consistency since it is body glitter, and you know, it would be easiest to stay on your skin. Now this is actually not recommended for your eyes, and it says it very small on the packaging as well, which I'm kind of surprised about because I feel like a lot of people could mistake this to put on your eyes. Now I have used the Frozen one to put on my eyes as well, and I think that is the same way where it's really not recommended for your eyes. Adding that body glitter is really pretty as a highlight. You can really see it at this angle too, like the body glitter, and that is like so pretty. I really love how that looks, especially in the sun. And we're almost done. Now there was 3 different lip kits that you could buy as well, and they were just different shades of red, and I didn't get them just because I have so many red lipsticks that I could just recreate that with. Now I am gonna just use the Frozen ColourPop one because that's like a burgundy red color, and I think that would kind of match the overall makeup look a lot more anyways. Now here's the Frozen ColourPop lipstick, and it's in the shade Little Snow, and this isn't like a matte lipstick, it's more of like a cream, and it does have, it's like a reddish burgundy color, and I think this is gonna match really good. So I haven't applied this in a while, so I didn't realize it actually does swatch a little bit brighter than what it looks like in the lipstick. So I've done this life hack before, and sometimes what I do if I don't have a specific color or anything, I'm going to be using the shade Night of Frolic, and I'm actually going to be setting it to be more of a matte lipstick anyways because it is velvet, and just kind of darkening the lipstick with that shade. And this is kind of like just a little life hack that I do. I don't do it often, but whenever I need to, this is what I do. I know it looks kind of funny at first, but it actually does work. And I almost forgot, I'm actually going to be adding some mascara to my lower lash line as well. So I forgot to record this part, but I also added in Trick or Treat to my waterline. It's a pretty easy gel eyeliner, and it's just super pretty, and it's only $8 too, which is really super affordable, and it's just really super pretty. It's like a metallic-y purple color, and all that I did was just add it to my waterline. And you can use this for basically anything. You can draw it on your face or use it as a normal eyeliner as well, and it's just really super pretty, and I just love how this turned out. And I don't normally add things to my waterline anyway, but if you're like me and you're just not comfortable doing it every single day, this is still like a product that would be super easy to do it with. Like, I really do like how this works, and it's just super easy to control. So this is the completed look. I actually really like how this turned out, and I think that this definitely is super cool and pretty, and definitely like a grungy look. It matches like my outfit and everything too, which I think is really super cute as well. And all of the different colors in the palette, I know some people had mixed thoughts on them. Some of them wanted it to be like a little bit more brighter and bolder, but me, in my opinion, I think that the color scheme of the palette actually matches like the movie perfectly. Like, I just think that the movie itself isn't that bright and colorful anyways, so I think that all the different colors that they chose for this palette really just matched like the overall theme and just the color scheme, like how I said again, of the entire movie. And I just think that they're all really pretty and definitely appropriate for fall and Halloween itself. If I had any kind of criticism, like what I would add, maybe I would have taken out one of the like transition shades, because there are quite a few transition shades. Like, it's mainly this side and this side. So maybe I would have taken out either this one or this one and made it more of like a burnt orange color for like a pumpkin, and maybe like called it some sort of pumpkin shade, just because orange is like a really nice fall color as well. This one is kind of orangey, but it is more of like on the browner side. It is a warm tone though, but maybe like kind of like the color of her hair, like an orangey red color. But it's still really pretty. I still really love this palette, and I had a lot of fun creating this makeup look. I honestly didn't know if I was going to get the palette or not. I didn't even really know about the collection honestly until 3 days before they launched. It was pretty last minute of how they like let everyone know. But I really enjoyed this makeup look, and from here on out I would like to try to record some Halloween makeup tutorials as well. So if you have any different makeup looks that you want me to do down below for Halloween, I would really appreciate it. And I would take that into consideration as well, because I always just like reading you guys' feedback and comments. So if you're interested to see more videos from me, you can just subscribe down below. I upload on some Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. And you can just hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified for every single time that I upload. And I'll just see you guys next time. Bye!